Hey reporters, this is Miss Merritt and I'm going to show you how to customize text in Final Cut Pro based on FNN's graphic standards. Okay, first we're going to start off with the headline. Your headline/title should appear in your photo montage. So we're going to go under 3D. Now I know I said no 3D. Like, it has to be 2D, but I'm going to show you how to adjust it. I just go to 3D because all the other title options are a bit much, doing a little bit extra that we don't need for our news packages. So, you can preview the titles here, see if it's to your liking. But I just use fade for right now. Alright, make sure the playhead is over it so that I can see all the changes that I'm doing to my text and my viewer. Now on my right is my inspector where I would make all the changes to my text. First, we're going to start with the font. Now, hopefully before you started this video, you have already installed your font in your computer, downloaded it and put it in a font book. If not, please make sure you go do that before you do this exit ticket. All right, a little quick shortcut note. If you hit the letter that your font begins with, it will automatically go to that. So my font starts with a C, it goes to C, Colasta. Right? So we got that. For the font size, let's take it down to 190 is good. And then we're gonna scroll down the inspector. Now, like I said before, there's no 3D, so we're gonna deselect 3D. And see how it's like flat and gray? We don't like that either. So under face, we're going to change the color first. In the box here, under color, click that. And you're going to get this pop-up box where there's several ways you could change the color based on the pencils, the image palette, color palette, color sliders, and color wheel. If you are not all that into color and you just want something real simple, then just stick to color pencils. We usually require white, but if you would like to explore color just to kind of match the theme and tone of your video, you can. Just make sure that color is the same throughout. Now, if you were to kind of customize your color, like using the sliders here, like so, and you really liked what came out, then you would, after you fiddle with the sliders, then click and hold the color box here and then add it to the selection, so that way the color is consistent throughout the video. Okay, we're just gonna stick with the color pencil white. That's it. And then now we're going to add a drop shadow, but I want it to pop off the screen a little bit. So hit show, and then the box will drop down. And if I'm going too fast, just pause the video, rewind as necessary. We're going to increase the distance. 19 is good. All right. You also want to make sure that the text is centered. But before we do that, I'm going to change the title to, it's the morning meeting, so. Now, just a quick heads up, this font does not have punctuation. As you see, like, it appears in the inspector, but it's not appearing on screen. So if you do need a punctuation, you are going to have to use a different font. But just make sure it doesn't look so drastically different from the required font Colasta. Just a side note. All right, so to make sure that your text is in the middle of your screen, make sure that the title is selected on your timeline, and then your mouse will turn into the 4-directional arrow. Click and hold, and you would drag until you see the yellow lines intersect, and that's when you know that it's in the middle. Boom. Perfect. All right, moving on to lower thirds. You're going to need the lower thirds either for a caption or a name bug. So go to lower thirds. You have a little bit of fun with lower thirds. Again, you would just have to change the font and the color to match the theme, but you can also customize the lower thirds depending on which one it is. So using softbar as an example, go to the T here on your inspector on your right, and you're gonna change it to, let's do custom. You want a different background color, but you know, and it's the same thing. Just select the color box, play with the pencils, whatever color you want to play with, but you just have to make sure that it is the same. If you're going to use that same lower third, then you have to use that style throughout the whole video. All right, and then of course you know how to change the font because I just showed you. Now real quick, last text that you will be adding to your video is of course the end credit, the scrolling end credit, as we have here. Now you could have it black with nothing there, or you could add another photo montage or a B-roll that you really like but you didn't know how to use it in the video. You could just add that to the end, that's fine. Please ensure that the text is, the size is 50, and that you deselect outline, because when you first add it, it's going to have outline, but you want to make sure that you deselect it and you only have drop shadow. All right, if there are any other questions or concerns, do not hesitate to reach out. I can't wait to see what you produce.